Virtual interviews are very common these days. In fact, 90% of recruiters actually prefers online interviews. It just makes sense because it's faster, it's very efficient, and best of all, it's free. But unfortunately, not a lot of us know how to go through a virtual interview. So today, I'm going to share with you the best practice and steps that you can take to make sure that you pass that virtual interview. And I guarantee that if you follow these steps, it's going to leave a very lasting impression and potentially get you that dream job. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ryan and I'm an HR professional here in Canada. And this channel is all about helping new immigrants get ahead in their career and their life as a newcomer here in Canada. So without further ado, let's get into it. So virtual interviews has been around for so long, but it just gained in popularity, especially during the pandemic when everybody needed to do everything virtually. But a lot of us were not able to develop the skills needed fast enough to go through a virtual interview as an applicant. Through the years, I learned that actually there is a system and structure and how you can approach virtual interview, and I call it SAVI, which stands for Self, Audio, Video, and Impact. Let's dive into it individually. So let's start with self. The first thing that you should do before you even set up that laptop or your smartphone for the interview is to prepare yourself. You have to make sure that you have the right confidence and the right attitude getting into that interview. You need to exude confidence and you need to be prepared with regards to knowing what the company is. And you need to do a little bit of research on the company that you're trying to apply for. Get ready with your questions, get ready with your information that you've gathered, and most of all, get to know yourself in terms of your ability, your strength, and any opportunities that you're working on. It's almost the same as you're going through an in-person interview. The questions that recruiters or hiring managers are going to ask you will be the same. It's just going to be in a digital platform. But I do understand as well that leading towards the interview, you tend to develop that anxiety and fear, and this impacts your confidence, right? So things that I do to prepare myself for the interviews is I do the things that I love the most, and I don't even think about the interview process itself. So I go to the gym, I take my dog for a walk, doing the things that I really love to do. So it helps me deal with the anxiety and fear of the interview process itself because I'm trying to distract my mind with the things that I really love doing. And every time I do those activities, I just feel rejuvenated and energized. So that's the kind of feeling and condition that I want to be in during the interview. The next thing is audio. Audio actually impacts how you're perceived by another individual, especially if it's in a virtual setting. When you're trying to set up your audio, make sure to test your audio first. Do some test run, do those voiceover and make sure that it's clear and audible. I also get a lot of questions about volume. So if you're wondering on what level of volume to set your audio, I would advise you just to set it on high because the recruiter or the hiring manager will adjust it from their end if it's too high. So just set it on high and let them adjust it from their side. Here's another tip for you. If you do have a microphone like what I'm using right now, you can also use that or anything that would help your audio clarity. I'm sure you can find something on Amazon that's very cheap, but microphones really help a lot. Okay, the next one is video. The same with audio, make sure that you test your video. Try to clean the lens so that your image doesn't look blurry. And also try to project yourself like what I'm doing right now, which is from waist up. The reason for that is because we speak with our hands sometimes, and it's just a natural movement for people to look at you and have a conversation using their hands. So use your hands to your advantage. It's more impactful and you actually sound more natural and confident when you have your hands to work with as well. But just don't overdo it because it can be really annoying sometimes as well. Another thing is with regards to visual is when you're using a laptop, try to adjust the angle where the camera is not facing up. A good practice is to make sure that you raise the lens on eye level. So if you need to use something to prop your laptop a bit higher so that it's eye level, then you can do so. Again, the idea is to create an environment as if you're just having a conversation face to face. And when you're having a conversation face to face, it's usually eye level. Also, don't forget about lighting. The lighting really matters. Try to have lights in front of you. Ideally, have the light on a 45 angle in front of you, like what I have set up here. So my light is actually 45 degrees, a little bit above my head, so that it has this natural impression of sunlight on a bright sunny day. Try to avoid having lights behind you because it will cast a shadow on your face, and your interviewer will not be able to see your face clearly. Natural light are the best. So if you want to face the window, that is fantastic, and I would highly suggest you do that. So the very last thing is impact. Although it's a virtual interview, still try to make sure that you're dressed to impress. If you know that the setting is going to be formal, then make sure that you're looking sharp with that coat and tie. Even if it's something casual, just make sure that you're very presentable. Another key here is your environment. If you're going to do your virtual interview in your bedroom, just make sure that your bed is made, because that leaves a very negative impression if your bed is not made. Or try to remove any distraction as much as possible and just keep it simple. Another thing to remember is when you're facing the camera, try to look at the lens. Think about the lens as the eyes of the interviewer or the recruiter. When you're looking at the lens, you're looking at them eye to eye. It's just something natural that when we're having a conversation with an individual or another human being, we actually look at each other in the eye. Another way that you can be impactful with your interview is to make sure that you're ready for those questions. So it's the same thing when you're interviewed in person. When you try to ask questions, you are the one interviewing now. So the ball is in your court and you take control. So make sure that you come up with really smart questions to ask that interviewer. Another thing is technical issues. This is a scheduled interview, so you have enough time to look at your connections, your Wi-Fi, your visual, your audio. The worst thing that could happen is you fumbling with technical issues while in the middle of an interview. That just proves that you're not ready for the interview or gives that impression that you're not hireable. And here's something that I don't see in a lot of candidates that I feel actually needs to be used. When you're using Zoom or Teams or any platforms like that, there's actually an option for you to share slides. So slides about your accomplishments or anything that you've accomplished or you're proud of that you can put in the chart is actually really powerful. There's nothing else that's more powerful than sharing results, especially if it's backed up by numbers. So use that and ask permission to whoever's interviewing you if you can share those slides of accomplishments. I'm sure you will leave a lasting impression and bring you closer to that job offer. So that's about it. Now you're ready for that virtual interview. Remember Savvy: yourself, audio, video, and impact. And if you just follow these steps, I guarantee that you're going to leave that first impression and get you closer to that dream job. So I hope you like this video, and if you want some free advice or free consultation on how to advance your career, might that be writing a resume or interview skills, just send me a DM and connect with me. My contact's in the description. I hope I could be of help and at least make a small difference in your career. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification button, and I will see you guys in the next one.